Thank you guys for 10 subscribers for this celebration. I will be posting 3 special videos for you guys. This one being the first, it will start off small to big today. Audio is a true crime story. A sad one in fact. Enjoy. New Orleans Bourbon Street reopened Thursday to a light crowd as both tourists and locals steered clear of the world-famous destination following a tragic attack on New Year's Day, in which an assailant plowed through crowds of revelers, killing more than a dozen people. A heavy law enforcement presence was visible as people, both locals and visitors, made their way in and out of bars, restaurants, and entertainment venues throughout the evening. Along the street, a makeshift memorial had been set up by local workers who had witnessed the attack early Wednesday. The tribute, which included small teddy bears, candles, and flowers, was placed in honor of the victims. I wanted to honor those people and give a little hope back to Bourbon Street and the French Quarter, said Maria Fields, 30, standing in front of the memorial she helped create. Fields, who lives in New Orleans, was one of the many who contributed to the heartfelt tribute. Maria Fields, 30, stands beside a memorial she helped create for the victims on Bourbon Street on Thursday, January 2, 2025. 14 people were killed and 30 others injured when Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42, a former US Army veteran from Texas, drove a truck through a crowd of revelers early Wednesday morning. As Thursday evening turned into night, the bright lights and sounds of Bourbon Street returned to their usual vibrancy. However, the streets remained notably less crowded than usual, with many people still hesitant to fully engage in the festivities. Fred Appleton, 32, a local New Orleans resident, expressed nervousness about returning to the area in the wake of the attack. "I don't know. At some point, you have to return to your everyday life. I hope nothing happens," Appleton said, though he vowed not to stay out too late. Police on Bourbon Street, Jan. 2, 2025, following the attack. Demelza Outram, 40, a visitor from Western Australia, was spending her first night on Bourbon Street. Despite the recent attack, she said it had not deterred her from visiting. "I don't believe someone would strike again in the same place, especially with such a heavy police presence," Outram said. "If anything, it just makes me want to support the local businesses more. You don't want them to suffer." Throughout the French Quarter, heavily armed FBI agents patrolled the area, keeping a vigilant watch over the streets. Police Superintendent Anne Kirkpatrick confirmed earlier Thursday that the city had implemented additional security measures, including the deployment of heavy trucks and steel barriers to protect the area. As night fell, more than 30 New Orleans police officers gathered in the center of Bourbon Street to pray for the city and its residents. Standing in a circle, with heads bowed and hands clasped, they observed a moment of silence while Chaplain Ken DeSoto spoke words of encouragement. "There are jobs in this world that people are inspired to do," DeSoto said after the prayer. "At times like this, they need encouragement. These police officers are people too. They are heroes." New Orleans Police Chaplain Ken DeSoto leads a prayer with officers on Bourbon Street on Thursday, Jan 2, 2025. Rick Goldstein, 72 of Houston, had driven 4 hours to celebrate and ring in 2025 in New Orleans. Despite the recent tragedy, he said he wasn't going to let the attack stop him from enjoying the historic destination. "I'm just looking for a place to get dinner and listen to some music," Goldstein said as he strolled down Bourbon Street. New Orleans Bourbon Street reopened today to a light crowd, as both tourists and locals steered clear of the world-famous destination following a horrific attack on New Year's Day. An assailant plowed through crowds of revelers, killing more than a dozen people. A heavy law enforcement presence could be seen late Thursday as people from near and far made their way in and out of bars, restaurants, and entertainment venues. After deadly pickup truck attack, Bourbon Street reopens 1:40. Along the street, a makeshift memorial of small teddy bears, candles, and flowers was set up by local workers who witnessed the attack on Wednesday morning. They wanted to honor the victims who lost their lives. As evening turned into night on Thursday, The usual bright lights and loud noises of Bourbon Street returned. However, participation from the crowds remained noticeably subdued. Tom Lamas, reporting from New Orleans. After Bourbon Street reopened following the vehicle ramming attack on New Year's Day, New Orleans City Council member Oliver Thomas assured the public that every effort was being made to ensure safety for returning crowds. What is safe today in the world? What is safe in America? What is safe anywhere today? But we're doing the best we can, Thomas said Thursday night. We have people posted up everywhere, and I think we're taking every precaution necessary. The crowds on Bourbon Street were notably sparse the day after the attack, which killed 14 people and injured more than 30 others. Despite this, Thomas was optimistic about the city's recovery, noting the resilience of New Orleans in the face of past disasters like Hurricane Katrina and the COVID-19 pandemic. We came back after Hurricane Katrina. We came back after COVID, he said. We're one of the most resilient, most necessary places in the world. New Orleans will come back. Rob Weil. The online car rental service Turo, often referred to as the Airbnb of cars, came under scrutiny after it was revealed that it was used to rent vehicles in both the Las Vegas and New Orleans attacks. Turo confirmed its involvement in both incidents in a statement released yesterday. New Orleans attacker's transformation from model soldier to ISIS supporter. Shamsuddin Jabbar's high school friends knew him as a good student with a bright future. He later served as a model soldier in the army, impressing his commander during a tour in Afghanistan. He was a great soldier, someone who showed discipline and dedication, said his commander, Rich Groen. However, in recent years, Jabbar's life began to deteriorate. He faced financial difficulties, a third divorce, and eventually fell under the influence of ISIS. FBI finds remnants of bomb-making materials in Houston. Tom Winter and Michael Cosner. The FBI discovered bomb-making materials at Jabbar's home in Houston during a search. A senior law enforcement official reported that significant amounts of chemicals and other materials used to make explosives were found in Jabbar's trailer in Harris County. Investigators believe they have recovered all significant items from the site. Families remember victims of New Orleans terrorist attack. Among the 14 killed in the attack were a University of Alabama engineering student, a former Princeton University football player, a recent high school graduate, and a first-year college student. More than 30 people were injured before police shot and killed Jabbar, the 42-year-old Army veteran responsible for the attack. Though the New Orleans Police Department and the Orleans Parish Coroner's Office have not released the names of all the victims, families are preparing for funerals.